So I'm curious, why do you think we wrote the book? I mean, this is not something we're planning to do, and it's taken a lot of time and energy, and I'm just wondering what's been driving you.
Yeah, there's two drivers of why I felt called to write the book. The first is when we look at our study results. As a pain management specialist, I'm of course very concerned and wanting to provide relief to my patients who are suffering. And the outcome of what we saw from our study was so impressive and profound that I knew that we had something that we wanted to offer patients, as well as doctors struggling with burnout, patients struggling with depression, anxiety, and loneliness. This technique just felt that it was an intervention that needed to get out to the world. And then secondly, as we talk about towards the end of our book, there's sort of a really strong call to action. And I know you and I are both very mission-driven in the work we do in the world. And I feel that this work is what the world needs right now. If we look at the state of the world where our environment is being destroyed and there's wars that are brewing around the planet and a lot of unrest, I think part of the problem is that we're awe-starved in our culture. And we've sort of lost the connection to a sense of wonder and amazement and beauty of the world, and finding that in the simple, ordinary moments. And so I think that our technique is something that can really be a healing source, a healing balm to the world, where if people were experiencing more awe in their daily life, they would not want to be harmful to the planet. They'd be in awe and wonder and want to protect the planet that's around us. And when people are in awe of diversity, of different cultures, of the beauty of different people on this planet, how can you want to kill someone just because they dress differently or speak a different language? So I think the timeliness of this work is really important to solving big problems on this planet. What do you feel like, Jake?
I wrote it and worked on this because I saw such a profound change in your personality. It was so great to see you relax and take your time and be more present, as you said. But I also had similar effect in my own life. It really made a huge difference. But the main reason I've put so much time into this is because I've been a psychotherapist for 30 years, and the world of psychotherapy and self-help is very limited in terms of what it does for people. It does a lot, but it only takes people to a certain level. And people are operating in what I refer to as safety consciousness. And awe is a way to break that ceiling. Awe is a way to help people transcend to a different level of consciousness so that they're able to work on their problems, issues, relationships in a completely different way. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that, I felt like this has to get out in the world.
And you've been teaching for 30 years, and leading retreats to hundreds of participants over the years. And this work, it seems to me, has been a real big game changer for you in taking your work to the next level.
Well, when we realized that people operate at different levels of consciousness, and we started teaching a model showing people how they could shift from one level to another, that was a huge change in the work we did and the results we saw. And we knew that there was safety consciousness, which is where people operate most of the time. They're very oriented towards taking care of business and getting things done and being productive, making themselves feel safe. And then there's heart consciousness, which is living in a state of gratitude and appreciation, really valuing the people that you care about and the wonderful things you have in your life. Mm. And then there's spacious consciousness, which historically people thought you had to access through a contemplative practice. And how many people would take the time to have a serious contemplative practice? Not a lot of people. And even when they did, a lot of people had a hard time having this experience that we now refer to as awe. But awe was the shortcut. I think we start our book with a line that says, when we stumbled upon a shortcut to transcendence, we were almost embarrassed.
Right.
Because neither of us have really been believers in shortcuts. And yet, in reality, I think that's what we found.
Right, I would agree.
Yeah.
We had talked about our own personal mindfulness and meditation experiences, and I had shared with you that I had been a practitioner of Buddhist meditation for 25, maybe 30 years before I had sort of what I would call my first profound transcendent moment of awakening that occurred after being on a retreat for 7 to 8 days. And now with this technique that we've stumbled upon, it's something that I can access multiple times a day and taking just 5 to 15 seconds of time to get there. And it's effortless.
Right.